Hi, how are you? So happy you're here. I'm Debbie, and hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. I'm so extremely happy that you're here. I just said that. Let me just get my screen together. Today, Sunday, is the day that I try to go live at 3 p.m. Eastern, US Eastern Time. And this is an opportunity for me to answer any questions you have about destination weddings, whether you're planning one, whether you've been invited to one, or perhaps you've been to one, or maybe you're just in the industry. Would love to answer your questions, share any feedback that I can. Um, just to give you a bit of background, because I don't want to ever assume, Hitched Away is a resource I created to really answer any questions that to answer the questions that anyone has about destination weddings, because they become very, very popular right now. But I also run a business which is helping couples figure out all the nuances. A lot of people know, oh, not everybody. I found it to be guys that don't know what a destination wedding is in my unscientific research. But most people I speak to don't know how to begin the process of planning one. So if you're stuck on that, I'll be more than happy to spend some time explaining um, how it all works. Destination weddings involve travel. So I have an extensive wedding planning background, but the travel part is relatively new, comparatively speaking. But you need travel to figure out the wedding part if it's a destination wedding. So let me help you with that. All right, first out of the gate, Janice. Hey, happy to see you here. Thank you for joining me. And if you're watching the live stream, on the website. So when I go live, it'll stream live on hitchedaway.com/live. But if you join me on Facebook, as Janice has or is, or on YouTube, any comments you share, I'll bring them up on the screen and acknowledge you. So Janice, thank you for being here. And so if you're on the live stream page on the website, come on over to Facebook. Um, Facebook.com/hitchedaway or YouTube.com/@hitchedaway. Okay. So the main premise today is, oh, wait, hold on. The big dogs are in the building. Hi, we've got another wonderful person. Janet Lee is joining us. Janet, great to see you. And why not tell us where you're located? I think I know where you're located, but it would be great to share that with the rest of the folks who are watching. So a few weeks ago, I visited Tulum, Mexico, for the sole purpose of checking out wedding venues. On our last live, I went over the first part of that, and oh my God, where am I? Oh no. All of the stuff that I planned to, oh, there it is. Okay. Nervous. Yes. So this week I promised I would go over the remaining part. It was 4 days. Yeah, 4 days in Tulum, Mexico, to look at different places. Now, most weddings, destination weddings that happen in the Caribbean, most destination weddings for the North American couples getting married happen in the Caribbean and in Mexico. The Caribbean is the area I tend to focus on, but I wanted to open my eyes and open my open my heart to Mexico, because I've been to Mexico and was not too impressed. But this time got an invitation to check out Tulum, Mexico, which is about an hour and a half away from Cancun, Mexico, which is where I was the last time. All right, Janet is telling us where she is. Janet is in Rock Hill, SC, which is South Carolina. I have to spell that out because I know when some of our international viewers don't always know what the abbreviation is. Listen, a lot of Americans don't know what the state abbreviations are. So Janet is in Rock Hill, South Carolina. She used to be in Brooklyn. But yeah. Thank you, Janet, for being here. All right, so let me go in. So the last time we were here, right, I was sharing with you one of the properties I went to, which was Unico, um, did a room tour, and Unico was a property, which is great. And I told you there was, I showed you some of the setups for the weddings, but on one of the, I went to look at one of the rooms, and then when I came out of the room, there was this, and I don't know what animal it was. So let me show you the clip from when I was at the Unico Resort looking at one of the rooms. Lovely room, by the way. I don't want to. So this was the setup. A lot of these places, the bathroom is not in a separate place. And then on the outside, I don't know if you can see it, right around here. Come on, animal, show yourself. And I thought, what is that? Oh, come on, lady, get out the way. Do you see the long tail? Yep. I don't know what that is, y'all.
Oh my God, what do you call this kind of animal? What is it? It's a what?
Lady, get out the way.
Are we still walking this way? I don't know.
I want to see the profile. Do you see it kind of has a long tail? The tail stays up and the nose is like an anteater. There. I don't know what that is, but I was the only one that was kind of going like that. Everybody else was kind of drawn to this animal. So this apparently is normal. This stuff is normal in Mexico. Now, not to be scared. I mean, this, when you're in the tropics, you just have to expect that the certain, you're going to get visitors, the four-legged kind. Some of them don't have legs at all. They just kind of slither through. But that was the animal. So if anyone knows what that was, and maybe I didn't give it enough of a zoom in for you to see, yeah, please share. Anyway, so one of the property I want to share with you is El Dorado Seaside. And this was a great resort. It's really spread out and flat. But you need golf carts to kind of get from point A to point B. Oh, hold on. Let's see. We got another superstar in the building. Hi, Antonio. Happy to see you here. So Janet saying Antonio is here. Another Brooklynite. Good to see you there. All right. So let me show you El Dorado Seaside. And there's a really great story about this property, but let me just show you how things get started. When you go there, you've got to take this cart. And I want you to see how this works. So you can see the setup there. Beautiful.
We're not going to fit on this one.
I just squeezed into the cart.
Oh.
Come on, you can get in. Come on, English.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. Get my square ass in here.
Another one right here.
Oh, you mean
Yes, another, sorry.
over ruffles? I can't get in. Oh my God.
So everyone has to pick the golf cart. Maybe too many of us in this one.
No, and I cannot lie.
It's Autumn. I remember being your Autumn.
So I want you to see the layout of the resort.
Go slow, honey, because I'm on the edge here, baby.
Having some struggles with all of us on there.
I'll hold on to you. I won't let you fall out.
But I want you to see the property and the layout. Set up for Christmas.
Yeah, basically. I'm just holding on to Autumn here. I was watching my video. I called you April last night. Why didn't you correct me?
I didn't hear you.
Oh.
So the place looks lovely.
Oh, well,
It's set
that
up
worked out
very
well.
nicely. With landscaping, and it's almost like little. I was going to say chalets. Those of us in the UK know what I'm referring to when I say that, right?
The saliva incident, so that can be forgiven.
Ignore my comments. I had a situation where they served me a drink, and it was somebody else's drink. I couldn't tell because it was in a coconut cup, and I kept tasting it, and turns out it was empty. I was sipping on someone else's saliva. TMI.
I feel the difference in the
But you see the setup there for the resort. And this is nighttime, of course.
Yeah. This is the warmest I've experienced since we've been here.
So it's a lovely, lovely venue. So I want you to imagine this for your guests that are going to the actual spot, the location on the resort for your wedding or for your vow renewal, whatever it is that you're having there. So you see, we're kind of driving through.
That's why it was like
and then
August of July. No, we stayed at, I didn't like it. We stayed at Sandoz.
Several pools. but it's a sprawling setup
Yeah,
there.
it was. It was very hot.
But everyone's getting back and forth with the golf carts. Of course, you
Yeah,
can
so I
walk, but
just assumed it was going to
if
be
the
like that now.
mobility is an issue, then you don't have to worry so much about that. And then when you arrive, I want you to imagine you've got these folks waiting with the drinks for your guests as they come in. So this is the welcome area, and then what they were doing were taking photos of us. I didn't get my photo. So there I am. So the theme was resort glam. So that's my attempt at resort glam there. And then having the guys there present you with the drinks.
What is that?
Tito's.
What?
Tito's.
Oh, yeah. Tito's and what?
I don't know.
Tito's, always good.
Oh, that's like guava or something like that. It's good.
So I spent most of the trip with drink in hand.
My cherry, but you can't have it. Sorry.
And then once that's over, then you have your guests walking into the space, and you can see that's the water over here. But I just want you to see the experience as you're walking into where the actual wedding reception would be. It's beautiful. The El Dorado team did a great job. So you've got the food stations on your right, and then these are the tables that are set up for your guests. The lighting in the roof actually, it's just very magical. I keep using that word, but you can see the sun setting in the back. So this is quite extensive. You can see the count for each table. I think it's 10 per table, right? 4 and 4, and then 2 on the top. And you've got several tables set up there. The decor, you can decide what you want for your place settings. You can see the chairs. We've got the Chiavari chairs. Not a whole lot of heavy decor, but it's a great setup there with the white. I like how that looks. Janet asks, is the place all inclusive? And it is. Many of the resorts in Mexico are all inclusive. So you can see some of the round tables there. You've got the longer ones there. And what they've set up on those boats there in the back are appetizers, food stations. So it's a really, the walls are open. You can see that there, but your guests are they're contained. So still getting the feeling of being outside, but actually being more like an interior setup. And this is how the food stations look. I think they had ceviche in one of them, and you can see the detail of what's available. So it's a really, really great setup. Yes, Candace makes a good point. There's no tablecloths. Correct. It's a minimal effect. I didn't even notice that, but it actually worked out really well. And let me just go back and look. You're right. There are no tablecloths. Oh, wait, wrong one. Nope, we were in the right place. Sorry. Let me bring it back here. You're right. Yeah, no tablecloths. But it works. I think it works. Do you think that's a problem? So this is the wedding reception area. When it's time to party, we move to another area, which was outdoors. And I can't believe I didn't capture that. I actually went live and the live didn't save. So this is the El Dorado, and we have a question. And Serena, by way of June, and June's asking, where is the space for the sound system? The all-important sound system needs to be there. So this doesn't happen here. What was going on at this location? I love the question, though. It was just music was piping in the back, if you can hear it here. It was just...
Where are we going?
That's it. Just that soft music playing in the back. But later on, like right over here to the left of the station, they had a guy with the playing... I don't know, one of those brass instruments, but this is for dining. But it's a really lovely spot. I have some other videos. I just wanted to squeeze everything in, where you can kind of go out to the side and just stand by the water and look out. But when it was time to party, we got into the golf carts again, and it was an all out party. So I'll post those on Facebook, and maybe Instagram. I can get my act together to show you how that works. So I just wanted you to see the possibility. This is one location. So this is El Dorado Seaside. There are a couple of different El Dorado resorts in Mexico, but this is one of them that's pretty sprawling. Now, I have to tell you, the resort is relatively quiet because when we were doing our partying, guests were coming over. So you have to realize that when you're planning a destination wedding, you've got to build the experience for your guests. You have to find out, is this resort a party resort or is it a laid back resort? Because even if it is a laid back resort and you want a party vibe, you can have that. But knowing it is half the battle. You don't assume that where you're going is going to have activities planned out from beginning to end. And maybe that's not what you want. But if it is, you've got to find that out and then create that experience for your guests. Does that make sense? So Janice is saying it looks sensational. It really, really was. This was one of my favorite spots based on the way that the food was good and the way that they treated us. Now, you would expect that they will treat us well if you're looking at venues, right? They've got to make the place look great. But I want to show you something. Let's see. Can you, some other questions? Janice says she loves it. Great. I love it too. My experience with food in Mexico for the places we went to, Unico, Palladium, the food was just, it wasn't great. There were a couple of places where it stood out. This was one of them where it was good. I wouldn't say fantastic. On a scale of 1 to 5. The food at Seaside for us was about a 3.5 going on to 4, depending on what. They had a lot of options. The beef, the fish. Wasn't a fan of the fish, but like the appetizers were so heavy that by the time it was to eat the main course, it was like you didn't need that. Janice is asking, can you request the music you want? Absolutely, you can. I don't know if you remember last week, I was sharing how it was at Palladium, and that music was really pumping. I don't know, I'm aging myself. He was doing some 80s, and it was, the music was just had you on your feet. Well, clearly didn't have me on my feet, but it was music to get you going. But you can request the kind of music you want. I'm not sure how specific. A lot of it is just letting them know up front what you want and what you don't want. So I just wanted to show you. So everything I've shown you so far this week and last week has been beach atmosphere, but not toes in the sand. So let me show you where the hotel where I stayed at was the Hilton Tulum all-inclusive. Now, I mentioned last week, I wouldn't feel 100% sending clients there, but I want to show you what's possible. We did a mock wedding, and this was actually toes in the sand wedding setup. And you can see there, it's actually beachside, right? And the chairs have to be those heavy chairs, not the Chiavari, because you can see all the wind that's blowing. So this was the couple coming down, and then you see that altar there. So it's a really spectacular view for a wedding. Let me just pause it there. Do you see that? That's the backdrop. But those waves, no one's going into that water. Unless they're surfing or something. But this was around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was windy, as you can see. Mexico in December is not as warm as I thought it would be. But the setup was beautiful. The arch looks great. It is actually toes in the sand wedding.
But I do appreciate my minister type jacket clothes I'm wearing today. And by this perfect
I'm shooting this on my iPhone, not my regular camera here. But I want you to see, there's the bar. You got to have the bar, but the bar is set up right there on the sand, full bar. You can have that there. Just because you're on the sand doesn't mean anything needs to come in. I want you to see the setup here. This would be for like your cocktail area. So you've got the ceremonies, one spot in the middle, and then to the right, as you're looking at the water, your guests can come over and have their cocktail. see the setup right there on the puff table. And then the dining area is also just to the left of the altar, and you can see the setup there. So boho feet is the key to this. Again, work in hand. This is a lemon drop. They go together.
You go on Common too?
Nothing else. But I want you to see, can you see the tables there? They're right there on the water, right there. Depending on the temperature and the time of year, that could or couldn't work. Can you see that there? So the tables are set up right on the beach. And then once the wedding ceremony and the reception's over, then they have the entertainment. And these were, I guess, fire dances. So it was eye candy. Just if you've got your bundles like these, they're those flavors. Those are serious. But again, building up the experience for what you want for your guests. If you don't want that and you want to have a DJ, then you request a DJ. You want to create an experience for the wedding guest, right? So this was an example of what you can do with a wedding on the beach. This again was at the Hilton, all-inclusive in Tulum. Tulum again is about an hour and a half drive from Cancun, from the Cancun airport. Yeah. So just to give you an idea of what, what's possible. So this was the one beach wedding, but I didn't, as I said, I wasn't completely sold on this resort, and let me show you why. Here is my arrival into that hotel. No, don't have it here. It's crazy. Is that it there? Hold on, guys. Sorry, got too many images. No, I thought I had it here. Okay, what I wanted to show was my arrival into the, actually, I think I do have it. One moment. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. Okay, maybe not. Oh, here it is. So this is my arrival into the hotel. This is the Hilton Tulum all-inclusive. Beautiful setup. But the way, let me just explain something to you. The way that hotel is set up, it's a series of buildings. Building 1 through 6, and it's a huge curve that goes around. Building 1 is close to the main area. I was in building 6, the very last building, and let me show you how this place looks. So this is where you check in. Lovely resort. And then you look out that this is where the beach is in that open area over here to the left. And then you have to get into a golf cart that takes you stop by stop to each building. There I am holding on for dear life. So it stops at building 1, then stops at building 2, then stops at building 3, and stops at building 4. And these are pretty spaced out, right? Again, this is the Hilton Tulum all-inclusive. So I'm kind of sped up the recording here, but you're going from building to building to building to building. And then let me show you what my room looks like.
So I just put my
This is one of the
bracelet
resorts where
here.
you must wear a wristband. Coming from somewhere with sound, so we don't have to. Struggle is real.
Like here?
Oh.
Oh, no, thank you.
You first hold and you second. Second.
Huh.
Ready.
Okay. Awesome.
License.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right.
Whatever you need, you have the point, you dial 0, okay?
Thank you.
So you see the sink, the faucet is right there. It's not in a separate room. I had a room with 2 queen beds and no view.
Okay. We're here. I think I'll switch over to the phone, but let me just do a quick pan.
So nice room.
You know, not facing the beach, but
So out
this
there
is
was
my
just
view.
foil it. Foliage.
Lots of greenery.
Foliage.
Boo.
My response to no view.
I would have loved to have had a front room, but.
So then this is just an open area where the sink is. I know some people don't like that. And then the toilet is in a separate room, separate door.
Then you've got the toilet here.
And then the shower was right there.
And then you've got the shower.
But I want to show you. This is not, it's a beach resort, but look at the beach in front of the building. This is the beach.
This is what it looks like.
Drink in hand. Again.
We're hiking. Oh my God.
So this is the front. It's not that appealing. But
yeah, I don't think you could really swim here. Oh my God.
Look at my butt.
I got Ruffles' butt right there on the camera.
so this is how you're walking to the if
Ruffles'
you're going
butt.
to the front.
Ruffles' butt. When you have the S, I don't know how to do the possessive. I mean, if we were writing it, it would be easy. To say it, it's a little tricky.
So
this is building number 5 we're at now.
So I was just walking from 6 going all the way
Sometimes
down.
they connect and you think it's a separate one, but it's not really.
So the water's to my right, the building's to my
The guy
left.
told me you could walk along the beach there, but I don't think you really can.
So not really. Not really a beach, right? So the strange thing is where the wedding was the top part of the resort, like close to building 1. It was like it was in another place. I couldn't believe this was the same resort. So depending, I guess, on the room you get and what you're willing to pay for, they do have upgraded rooms in building 1. They have their own bar, their own swim up pool. But if your guests are in the other buildings, they've got to shuttle back and forth to the main lobby. May not be a deal breaker for you, but it just didn't give me the ambiance that I liked for that resort. And maybe that's not important to you. In order to get from building to building, you've got to get in one of those golf carts and they go back and forth for the shuttle service. So Janice says nice room. It was a nice room. Definitely. It was just facing, there wasn't anything. It was a little patio area. There wasn't anything to see. If you're in the front of the building, if you have an even number room, then you're facing the front and you can see the beach. But what you're seeing is really the ocean. Mexico was a great experience for me, and Tulum really opened up my eyes. I wanted to say that coming into the airport, and I think I mentioned this, I think I have a clip. Mexico is the Cancun airport. I thought it's massive, as in one of the terminals. It took me about 6 minutes to walk from getting my luggage to meet my driver. And you want to have a driver set up. You don't want to leave this to chance. And this is what, working with someone like me, and it's not a plug, it's reality. And let me show you, if you haven't been to Cancun, this is how it is when you get to the airport. No, that's not the truth. Fake news. Hold on. Where is it? Is this the one? Here it is. Yeah. So this is me walking through. So there's lots of bright, shiny objects there for you as you're going through. And each time, I want to point out, once you get past, and you go through these doors, each time someone is asking you, do you need transportation? And I'm not exaggerating where I had to say that about 5 times. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. And it's not just, I thought it was a little aggressive each time. See, that's the guy. He's chastising me for not answering the woman that asked me if I needed a ride after I'd already answered that question 2 times prior to meeting her. There again, it's just, that's what's going on. Are you okay? Not even are you okay? Need a ride, And then you get outside. You got a bit of freedom as you're walking through here. And each one of these people, is asking me the same thing. Transportation, transportation, transportation. And maybe that's just the way it has to be, but it can get old real quick. That's just polite. And then you're outdoor, and then you kind of think, okay, I'm coming down to the end. I'm going to get my vehicle now. I'm going to meet my driver now. And then I could see, I said, oh, wow, there's more people waiting. So this is the equivalent of the arrivals line. So when you get here, it starts all over again. There you go. He's asking. But this Lomas is the company that I use for my transportation. And she's looking for my name here. And then she's telling me, now you've got to go walk down to be whatever. Now I suppose if you have your wheelchair or if you have mobility issues, you would have some of the wheelchair. But it was a bit of it was an experience to get from beginning to end. And then I kind of found where I was supposed to be, like right here. And Lomas has a signature, this aqua shirts and white pants. This is how I knew this. These are my people. And then finally, we got to the point, and he took over and then brought me to my vehicle. So then it was like, oh, okay, I'm here now. This guy was fantastic.
He will be your driver. His name is Roy.
Roger. Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you, Louis. All right, Roger. Thank you. Where do I go? To the.
So this was a Lincoln Navigator. I was in it by myself.
Oh,
and this was the ride to.
Sorry, you're saying it and I'm not
Cancun
listening.
to Tulum, which is about an hour, and about an hour 20 is what we did.
You too.
I got there around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So riding by myself. So you can get to decide, if you want a solo, if you want to ride with a group or ride on your own, but for an hour and a half, if there's enough of you, ride solo. But if you're going to a hotel in Cancun, which is you're already in Cancun, may not be worth it. Then you'll be making stops at this hotel, this hotel, this hotel, depending on where your hotel is, will determine which stop. But definitely figure out the transportation beforehand and make sure you decide if you want solo, a private driver, or if you want to be part of a shuttle, which is just making stops and you may or may not know the other people in the vehicle. Janice is sharing, when I went to Mexico, I hated the beach, so much seaweed, and the hotel I stayed in was the same with different buildings and golf carts, not for me. So maybe this is a thing. It was I felt like I was at a different resort. Now this was a Hilton, and I think it originally wasn't a leisure hotel. I think it was more of a corporate hotel, because they have a massive conference center, which is even further down beyond building 6 or Casa. What's the 6? How do you say 6 in Spanish? Janet is saying, when I went, oh, sorry, that was Janet that said that. Sorry. I said it was Janice. It was Janet. And then I agree with you about the airport. It was a hassle. Yeah. So be prepared for that. And knowing is half of the battle, right? It was just too much. I just was so happy to get into that car. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Ma'am, you didn't answer. I'm good. Okay. It was over and over and over and over and over again. It was such a long walk. And then you think it's over, and then it's more of the same, but not the end of the world, but definitely something to think about. Okay. I didn't realize we're right at the half hour mark. Do you have any questions for me? Any comments? I enjoyed my stay in Tulum, and you'll see I had a massive suitcase. I was trying to do everything on the carry-on, but because of the JetBlue Plus, I don't pay for my first bag, so I just stuck everything in there. When I coming back, we had a problem with the plane. We all were in our seats, and then we had to get off because the captain said one of the instruments weren't working. I'm happy he made that decision and then had to rebook. I found the language barrier it was challenging. Basic conversations had to be, I called room service, and it was the most difficult conversation. It's amazing to me, and maybe I'm being ignorant, that a resort or industry that caters to so many English speaking guests, there's such a struggle with the English language. And I got that at the front desk, which I wasn't expecting, but also like when I'm making a phone call to the operator, they answer in Spanish, and just the communication was tricky. I don't know if all of my guests would have the patience to deal with that. Okay, so that's, I mean, I know a few of you here. I know, Janet, you have been to Mexico, and I think I wouldn't write it off for my clients. The Secrets Acumel is one of my favorites, and El Dorado Seaside could also work. Those are the ones that are in the lead. Palladium, which I showed you last week, that was a place with the sushi. Lovely settings, really lush, green, beautiful. And they had options. Many of these places, you don't have to have toes in the sand. So if you want to wear your high heels, men or women, you can. Having a wedding in the Caribbean or Mexico doesn't mean, you're limited to a beach wedding, which was the last one that I showed you. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. If you or someone is thinking about celebrating in the Caribbean, whether it's a wedding, a vow renewal, an anniversary, a birthday. I remember, Janet, you asked about a family reunion. Get in touch. There are a lot of options. And I know for many of us here, we are biased and like the Caribbean, but getting to Mexico for many people is easier and it's cheaper. And if that's key for your guests, then you begin to understand why. In the Caribbean, Jamaica is probably on par with that. Easier, cheaper. The other islands, depending on where you're coming from, it starts to get a little more expensive, and your options you have fewer options. It doesn't mean you cannot have a great celebration, but if you are inviting people, these are things you have to keep in mind. You got to be realistic about ease of travel and cost. And if those are concerning for you, then you kind of have to broaden your horizons, open your mind to what your options are. All right. I think I got everyone. I know if you have any last thoughts, and I think, again, Janet made some great points, and I attributed them to Janice, the 2 J's. I will, God willing, be here next week. If you are available, it would be lovely to have your company. I got to figure out what it is we're talking about, but please follow Hitched Away on Facebook. Please follow Hitched Away on Instagram. And if you get an opportunity, it would be great for you to, I said YouTube. Did I say YouTube? Yeah, follow on YouTube. More importantly to me, though, is, hold on, if you would be kind enough to sign up and join the email list, just visit hitchedaway.com/VIP, hitchedaway.com/VIP, enter your name, enter your email, and I'll add you to my list. Social media, I'm ramping up. Email, when you're on my email list, it's very important to me. And for lack of a better term, you belong to me as opposed to these other platforms. Email, it's just you and me, right? Social media at any point, I don't know, TikTok seems to be in the balance, although with our incoming president, maybe not so much. But my point is, those things come and go. Can we say MySpace? But the email, the email is there for it. I have direct, I was gonna say control. That's really what it is. But I want to be able to hold on to you and not lose you. Thank you, Janet. Will do. Stay safe. Where is your next destination? I don't know. I don't think it'll be Mexico. That's a good question. Where should I go next? I'm thinking Curacao because I'm dying to see what things are like. And I haven't been to St. Lucia. But tell me where you think I should go, and I'll work on that. I think St. Lucia has some really great, has won many awards for luxury, for being romantic. And Janice says, yes, next destination. It'll be somewhere in the Caribbean, I'm pretty sure. But I also don't want you to forget that, you can have a great destination wedding here in the US, Florida, New Orleans. There are places where you can travel as a group and give your folks a mini vacation while celebrating your big thing, birthday, wedding, vow renewal. So you got to think outside the box. Janice is saying Antigua. Antigua is actually is on the short list too. All right, I'll add that to the list. Serena is saying Costa Rica. You know, there are so many people that I met that when I was in Mexico that are doing weddings in Costa Rica. It's almost like an eco sort of destination, especially if you want to be out in the rainforest, the jungle. So Costa Rica is actually really popular. So that hasn't been on my radar, but I'm willing to think about that. Janet is also saying Dominica, not Dominican Republic, Dominica, beautiful island. I think Janet was telling us about the black sand beaches, right? That's another place that's kind of under the radar. And I would actually put Dominica and Costa Rica on the same level with regard to interests. You know, if you like that natural environment, but Dominica is definitely a thought. I will add that to the list. All right, guys. Thank you again for being here. You give me such energy and encouragement to keep going. I wish you and your family well for this week, and hope the upcoming year is the absolute best one for you. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. Bye.